Nobody expects the atheist inquisition. Have you ever read the Bible? There's a verse I've been thinking about, and I think I can use it to prove the non-existence of God. Maybe this will freak you out. In John 13:34-35, Jesus gives one commandment to be considered a follower of him. One commandment. He also said some other stuff about the second and the fifth, but I'm not going to get into that now. The second is no idols, but crosses are idols. Where are we going with that? Fifth, I think honor your father and mother. I'm kind of mad at mine right now. My mom's been talking some shit, and it's been years since I found that out, but I told her that I didn't want to talk to her right now. I was a little mad at her, but I hadn't pointed that out in the past. However, she said that I had schizophrenia, and I said that was very rude. So... Okay, so anyway, John 13:34-35 says one commandment: you must love each other, or you're not a follower of me, Jesus Christ. Christians, how are you doing that? You love one another? Even people who are different politically than you? It scares me a little. Trump is not a good guy. Trump is a freaky, weird guy. Trump is not a good guy. You know what he's done. You know what him and Bill Clinton have done. Anyway, John 13:34-35. I think that my atheist ass loves people more than Christians. Love people. The reason I say that is because I just leave everybody alone. If they try to get my attention, sometimes they're able to do that. I've answered questions from people in the street and walked away. He seemed satisfied, so I walked away. I don't see a lot of Christians doing that. And I do not believe in the existence of God. Ooh, that is silly shit. You believe in the existence of Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, leprechauns, unicorns, trolls besides the ones on my YouTube posts, fairies besides the gays, leprechauns, unicorns? I always thought a show about leprechauns and unicorns would be hilarious. Both leprechauns and unicorns. Or two separate shows, like that Ghost Hunters show. All those Ghost Hunter shows. Why not one on leprechauns? Leprechaun hunters. Unicorn hunters. That would be like the Blair Witch Project. Anyway. I think that if that's one commandment that Jesus had, was to love one another. I don't mean to sound like a narcissist. But I think I am most of the people I know. I don't know how I'd prove it. But the atheists that I know probably love one another more than Christians love one another. Excuse me. Agnostics. Kind of the same. Agnostics tend to like question everything. What are we doing? How are you doing it? Saying things without proof is one of their things where it's like, yeah, the cameras are over there. Excuse me. Or stuff like they just don't get a simple thing and they want other people to figure it out. Like I knew this one agnostic, they had these parties at the college. He was like college professor age. He had a degree in philosophy and calculus. He wasn't a doctorate, he just lived at the college. He's one of those guys. Olympia has tons of those guys. He considers himself a philosopher. His job is to film the Dance-O Dance in Olympia. And he dances and films the kids dancing that are like high school and college aged. And he has these parties where he invites all these college chicks over. And I go to one of these, because he said he had had a lot of these. And I go to one of these. And it was fun. There was a lot of chicks there. I was with my girlfriend who was 18 years older than me at the time. And he was just letting people get away with shit. It wasn't rowdy. They were like going in the room smoking pot. There was like 50 people there. Everybody brought food. I brought food with my girlfriend. It was like enchiladas. And like all the younger chicks dug it. So I was like, I mean, it was the most humbling experience. Don't get stuck on proof. If you're a Christian, just take it on faith. I'm an atheist, so I don't need to take it on faith. I was there, man. So I started following his post more, and he said that he didn't know why he had a girlfriend. Well, he invited all these dudes over too. He said that he just wanted something beautiful to love him. And he didn't have a girlfriend for like 20 years. And he may not still. But he just sits in the living room the whole time, clapping his hands to this chick playing the guitar. Trying to seek that enlightenment, but still bitching about like how he didn't have a girlfriend, even though women were over at his place all the time. And I didn't really admire this guy, but he was a nice, friendly guy. He just was a guy who didn't seem to get it. All he would have had to done is the same thing, just don't invite the guys. Have all this food, have another party since he's got to know the chicks and see if he could nab one. And then I blocked him. This is like several years ago. This is like 8 years ago. I blocked him because I was just sick of talking to him because he's stupid. So that was one of the points where I started that blocking spree. I probably have like 3,000 or 4,000 people blocked. I don't put up with a lot of shit. There's shit that just triggers me. Stuff where they'll like call me a Republican. Because my attitude with women is more on the level of I think they're a little above us in terms of intelligence and physical strength and the ways of handling stress. So a lot of people started calling me a misandrist. And then they started calling me a misogynist because I wanted to date women between the ages of 18 and 24. Do you see how you're not funny? I've always supported women. Most of my friends were women in school. You're saying to prove it, but you're a Christian, so take it on faith. Love one another. Do you guys love me? I'm just curious. Because it seems like you don't love me. It seems like you're pitching me a lot of hate. You downvote my post, you talk shit. But you're Christians? See, atheists are more Christian than Christians, so you gotta think of that. So it is like you're Christians. But you may be atheist. Interesting. Seems like you're right wing, though. That's a little scary. You support Trump? Why do you support Trump? Do you love me? Do you love Trump? I'm sure one of those you don't like. Or both, perhaps. I don't know why you would be watching me if you hated me. You're completely in violation of John 13:34-35. The one commandment of Jesus Christ was to love one another. But I don't think you're doing that. Maybe if you sent me some money on Patreon and stop bitching about it. Maybe you stop downvoting my posts. And I think the reason that you don't is because you don't like me. But you're still watching. But aren't you a Christian? Isn't that in violation of John 13:34-35? You're an atheist. A misandrist. So I started getting called misogynist because I called out some misandry. But there are truly people in this world that hate men. These are people that think that men should be shiny, popular kids. Or at least popular kids. Or at least shiny. An interesting dilemma. I think I'll leave this to you at 12 minutes.